and welcome everybody. Glad to have you all riding along with us today. Today we're going over to visit Pompey's Rest, Don Jackson's farm over in Laurens County, South Carolina. I hope y'all get a chance to see something that you may not have seen before and really enjoy the ride along. Thanks, and see you at Don's. Okay, we've just arrived here at Pompey's Rest, and we're headed up the driveway to go see if we can find Don. I'm thinking he may be around his shop, but we'll check in there and see. So see y'all there in just a minute. Let's see if Don's over here in his shop.
Chris, that's you?
Yeah, hey Don.
Hey Chris.
How you doing?
Good
Good to
morning,
see you. Good to
morning,
see
boy.
you. Yeah.
Great to see you.
Oh, you too.
All right, what we gonna do?
Well, we're going to take a look around your farm here and maybe sit down and have a little conversation about, how your operation runs.
Okay, good. Come on in. Let's get a cup of coffee and let's get it going.
Sounds great.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Don.
Okay. I'm slow. I don't know how fast to go.
Nah, just like you was normally driving through, Don. So, Don, how's the hurricane affected you since Helene passed through back in September?
It was devastating. I had more trees down. I've had live oaks, big live oaks, red oaks, no small trees, all big diameter trees. The problem is that on my fence lines, it just didn't, it tore all, a big portion, about 1,800 feet of my fence lines down. And I couldn't repair them. I had to push trees in the old fence back. And then I'm still cleaning up now from just cleaning fence lines up and getting new fence up. And I don't know if I'll ever get a lot of trees up on the back side of the place and stuff that's not pasture.
Yes, sir.
I think I'm just going to do what I can when I can. But what I have to do now is get my fences back in order. Some fences was a blessing. I mean, they needed to be replaced. But I put it off to get around to it, but for now I've got to do it to keep my stock within my place.
Yes, sir.
But hey, I'm 75 years old. I've never seen a storm like this in my life. It's devastating, but I was blessed. I wasn't like people in western North Carolina. I had no damage to my home or outbuildings or any structure damage, which was a blessing.
Yes, sir. That was a blessing in itself right there.
Oh yeah, there's no damage. And so, hey, I'll get there. Just get the fences back up and then, regroup. And I'm pushing trees down, cutting trees and limbs, but just trying to get some of my grazing back because I have some down in the pastures. The deal is that it's hard to have any help, and I'm just blessed to have the equipment that I can do with, that I don't have to contract out.
Right.
It's just labor, finding someone that can help and assist me, especially with my age. But hey, we'll get there.
It's going to take a little time. We can't get it all at once, that's for sure.
We'll see some of it. I've started clearing some, but I'll let you see some of it.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's important for folks to see what, kind of some of the things that we're still dealing with in this area.
Oh, I don't think a lot of people will recover for a long, long time.
I agree.
It's just, it's the trees and getting trees down. I'll show you some, but it's kind of not. It's part of that's part of the farming. That's part of it. You know, you deal with Mother Nature, and you can look down through here, and some of the stuff you may catch a picture of some of this. That's stuff. Some stuff I pushed up.
You did have a lot down.
I had a lot down, and I had big trees, and I didn't try to savage.
Yeah. There's just so much.
There's so much, and I didn't want to have anybody coming in and trying to savage these great white oaks, which was because, you know, loggers, they're worried about the logs.
Yes, sir.
And I was worried about my pastures, and tearing the pastures up.
Right.
Loggers are not landscapers, they're loggers.
No, you're 100% right there.
And I was not going to have come in here and tear everything up and have to replant and smooth up. And I saw that when I created a couple of civil pastures, starting on civil pastures.
Yes, sir.
And what's happened that I'm really just finally recovering from where they, you know, staged all the trees out from cutting out for my civil pasture.
Well, Don, while we're here, is there a chance we could swing by and see any of that?
Yeah, I'm on. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, well, do that, and you can look over here some bit before I decide what I want to put in as a perennial.
Yes, sir.
So,
are you thinking about trying anything different in there?
well, you know, I got studied and read and been to seminars on native grasses. But the more I read about it, the more I see that, you know, I don't have a problem having a controlled burn, but I am not going to use a herbicide.
Yes, sir.
I hadn't put any sprays or anything on my fields in 12 years. So, you know, they suggest that you put, you know, spray down, herbicide, kill everything back. And, I just don't think I'm going to go with native because of that. And if you look at natives, although they're deep rooted, I don't see where their nutritional value is that good. So, but I'll work on my. I'll determine I'm gonna try some, but I'm not gonna go like they said. I'll just see what I can do, you know, and get some established. But I know there's late seed banks of that switchgrass in there, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, might be amazed at what does start to pop up.
But that's just going, and I'm gonna take half of that. You know, we won't see it today, but I've got a 23-acre tract that we did the same thing, but it was, I don't know if we'll get there. I think my boys and grandchildren will work on that.
Yes,
because this, let them, I'll have equipment and stuff, let them say if you want it, you can do it. But hey, it can always be sold the way South Carolina's growing.
It is doing that.
People's coming in here from everywhere.
I have never seen such growth as what there is in this area, and a lot of farmland is.
I just don't know.
Yes,
I'm concerned about it, but you know, you can't stop it. But hey, we'll see. But civil pasture, to me, I need more of a civil. I'd like to increase my pasture, have more cows, but I'd like to take at least half of that, what you took a picture of, and make a sacrificed area.
Yes.
That if we, go into a drought, or we have, a lot of heavy rain through a hurricane, bad weather, that I can just put them in there and keep them off my pasture. So I'm thinking I'm going to increase a little bit of grazing, but more especially I'm going to do it for a sacrifice area. Hey, something happens. You put them on what I've got now, and have to put them on the especially rain.
Oh yeah.
And the drought, and gnaw it down. So I'd rather have a sacrifice that I say, okay, girls, you want to tear it up, tear it up.
That'd be a good spot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Don, I'm going to go and cut this part off, and
Here's some trees that on fence lines I've had to push up, but I'll take you down through those. You can see the diameter of some of those trees.
oh yes, sir. Yeah, we were in the same boat. We had several on our place like this.
Fence line right here I had to clean off. Trees, and you can see what pushed, and I got this section back up. But I'm still working on some other sections, and I'll check you. We'll look at that silver pasture that we're working on.
Now, when did you start that project, Don?
I started that last April, actually.
Okay.
But you look down through here where I've had to clean all this up. I hadn't got my fence up here yet.
Yeah, a lot of stuff down just everywhere right now. And
I mean, I hate to push those big trees.
oh, I know.
But
it
you look
feels
on
like
one
such
side, you look at that, and then you look over here, the way we've been blessed with the moisture this year, it looks like I'm gonna have some pretty good grazing.
Yes, sir. That's some of the thickest grass I've seen this year. Looks really good.
I'm still working on my diversity. It's getting kind of, it's hard to get something in the ground when you have this kind of cover.
Yes, sir.
You know, I do a lot of I only no-till, but I found out that it's best for me to scatter something out and let these cows walk it in. It seems like it does better to me.
No, it's as thick as it can be, Don. Looks really good. And like I said, that rain we've had the last couple of weeks have really made everything come on.
I actually on a silver pasture had applied for it was through some of the Inflation Reduction Act money.
Yes, sir.
The silver pasture. I was going to do it, but right now as we stand, everybody knows now what's going on. My funding has been stopped.
Yes, sir.
But I'm going to proceed with it, you know. And one thing about when they stop the funding, they say they can't do it. At least you can do it your way.
Well, this is true. That's very true.
Do it my way instead of following some of these questionable practices and rules they send out to you. But we're predominantly fescue, Kentucky 31. Incorporate plantain, a lot of legumes. Mostly, I found out that I don't have much luck. I have to get a good clover, like a Landino, something that grows high. Because this forage I have, it kind of smothers it a little bit.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see it out competing.
Yeah, it's so, seed is so expensive now. It's, all the guys are bragging about what their steers and heifers are selling for, but I don't think we're making any more money than we did 20 years ago because of the cost of everything.
Right. Everything else has jumped up.
Everything else is just like it.
Oh yeah. Seed, fuel, fertilizer,
labor, anything. Parts, go buy a part for a tractor.
Oh yeah. If you can find them.
Yeah. Now right over to right here where you turn, we started cleaning this out. We had this pine thinned out to 40 feet of basement. Had a consultant on me, and that was prior to me receiving any funds. So now I've got to go in and stuff it, burn it, and then wait till fall. And put in, I think, some kind of cover, ryegrass, get it going. I hope to make this increase our pasture into silver pasture, but I know it's going to be 2 or 3 years due to the fact that I've got to, get some dry grass and get some started or some kind of annual in it to build my soil.
Hi there, my name is Chris Workman, and today we're here at Pompey's Rest over in Lawrence, South Carolina. We're going to be visiting with Mr. Don Jackson on his farm here and kind of jump in and see what all's going on here. So, Don, could you share a little bit about what you do here?
Well, we have a very small grass-fed, grass-finished beef operation. It's a very small operation. We're not, we were, doing a lot of processing and had a lot of customers come to the farm, but it got to be the point that it got so expensive to transport a lot of stock and go back and pick it up and store it. With the price of cows this time, now the way the market is, I said, hey, I can take them to my culls to the sale.
Yes, sir.
And take any culls that I would have processed, I could take to sale, and but we don't sell a lot of culls or go to market or process any much. We're trying to develop a herd. I started years ago with made several mistakes with the cattle I purchased, and found out real quick that I had really messed up because the stock I bought and was not adapted to this environment.
Yes, sir.
It was not adapted to my forage, and lost a lot of money. I had to. So what we've done with my children, and especially my oldest child, Patrick, we were fortunate enough to have TRASK Herefords that was line bred here for 60, 70 years that could maintain and breed back on the forage we have, which is predominantly Kentucky 31.
Okay.
And we were blessed with getting a herd of those cattle. They perform really well. Naturally, that I had to go back and cull out, but we had some udder and tip problems, which is common pretty much in a Hereford.
Yes, sir.
We've got that straightened out, and right now we decided that we would try to do some heterosis, and we started putting a South Bowl bull on top of it.
Okay.
That cross has really been pleasing. I think we have hit the target. We try to develop a cow that can maintain in this environment the heat, that can graze during the hot weather and the humidity here. They graze, they eat fescue, they breed back. We breed in July, which people say you can't do in South, and we try to maintain calving season and start in May, so the mama cows have something to eat. I just don't like the idea of feeding hay in the winter when a cow has a calf on it,
right, because
of the quality of the hay. You would have to really spend some money. So right now I'm more into my soil health and my forage. I've worked hard on having a diverse forage, and we do a lot of fescue, clovers, forbs. I do a lot of plantain, a lot of vetch, a lot of Landino clover. Haven't had much luck with chicory, but I'm still plucking at it.
Still trying.
Still trying. We do incorporate some amuda. I have some very small acreage in warm season, but I have to maintain because I try to year-round graze. With the section of I stockpile the field in December. Use that. So this year we didn't start feeding hay to December, and so I've cut my hay. My cows only get grass and hay. Have not fed any feed in 12 years.
Okay.
So they only get grass and hay, and this year the only thing I can control is my inputs. And that inputs that I have is Feed, I don't feed. My cows have not had any, never had grain, never had any supplemental feed. We don't spray our fields with anything. I have not put any fertilizer on my fields, man-made or synthetic fertilizers, in 12 years. I hadn't added any potassium or any kind of fertilizer in 12 years. Now, I watch it pretty close. I could use a little phosphorus now and a little potassium. But right now, the only thing I control in these last years is no chemicals, no fertilizers, and no feed. And I think that's a blessing on me because, and I've cut my hay consumption down. Now, naturally, I'm small, but I'd rather have more grass than I have cows.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to struggle with that. So we're just trying to build stock up for people that wants to get into it, that we can develop a heifer or a bull that young people are getting into it, that we know is adapted to this area. We know it can function and survive without needles. And for people that's getting into it, you put them on, they can maintain it on grass if you have the forage.
Yes, sir.
And so that's what we're trying to do. Now, I will not see the benefits as much as my children and grandchildren.
Yes, sir.
But that doesn't concern me. What concerns me is leaving it better than I found it.
Yes, sir. I completely understand there and definitely concur with you on that. So what's your typical day-to-day look like?
Well, typical day-to-day would be, I get up early, still get up early. I always check up, usually, come out and check the livestock and take a look at the stock. You have a little, feeding up the chickens.
Yeah.
And, make sure that your little dogs and cats are fed. And normally, just check. I don't really have to do a whole lot with the cattle. Usually I move the cows and rotate them up every 2 days. Some days if I had the labor or the time, basically, that I would really. I'm installing more permanent cross fencing right now. It's got to the point now when I do the strip grazing. With the hills we're in here in Piedmont, it's not as simple as it looks on video with flat country. So, I have to, I have hills and valleys and dips, and it takes a while putting your post up in low spots, high spots coming back.
Yes.
But I found out that if I can put more permanent cross fencing in, then I can strip half of that. No more cattle than we have. We don't have the impact on the livestock I would like to have on my forage. But once I have this, I'm crossing some of the paddocks. We graze 60 acres.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest, we're not that big. We graze 60 acres. I have that. And I try to do it where I can permanent cross fence a strip that I can get back within 30 days or have enough rest on the grass.
Yes.
So, but the typical day is really, right now, not a lot of work, with the exception of, we're, raising, we have grandchildren that we pick up at school, and we have to pick up the grandchildren, and we don't have to take them to school, we have to pick them up, but when you have three grandsons, and baseball games, right now this time, all three play baseball, and we just don't have a whole lot of time.
Right.
So it's a blessing to have the forage I have.
Right.
And I don't have to, it would be easy and simple and lazy to just turn them loose. But I'm not going to do that. So I do rotate them. I need to rotate, strip them a little bit more. But we're all working. The Hurricane Helena just devastated me with fence lines and didn't have the fence. It'd be devastated, destroyed the fences in some areas, and I just could not repair. I had to replace, push the trees out and replace. So now once that put me behind on doing my permanent cross fencing. But once I do that, I've got a few more little paddocks that I permanent cross fence. It'll be a joy. And on Saturdays, normally if I'm on a strip, I'll lay out my lanes stripping on Saturday, so the week is easy to do. Just drop a wire.
Yeah, just let them run right on.
Yeah, rather than drop a wire. Set it up on Saturday or Friday for the week.
So, Don, what would you say makes your operation stand out?
I don't know. It's hard to say stand out. I think we've hit the mark on the cattle with the genetics we have. We've culled and I think we've hit the mark with the stock. Now, with the soil health, I'm real pleased with some of the results I get from a PFM test and Haney test, but I think standing out is take a shovel. You can take a shovel, and I keep a shovel in my mule or pickup truck, and I always, it's not so much what's above the ground, that's what's below the ground. So if you can look at your soil structure, you can look at the structure, you can look at the root structure, biological activity, see any worms, if you see that organic matter increase, the smell, earthly smell, then I think, it stands out. I think probably number one that I would think would stand out, I'm able to use a grazing stick, a forage stick.
Right.
I found out that, if I have a couple right there, that I don't really normally use a grazing stick or forage sticks to move my cows. I use eye. After a while, you can learn to say, okay, it's time to move them.
Right.
That take half, leave half down off a grazing stick. You want to get them in on the grass before it's mature. They won't eat stemmy. They won't live. They like it, just like us.
Right.
I'm telling
they
you.
want the good stuff.
They want the good stuff. You got to keep them tight, or they're going to eat the good stuff and leave the press. I don't. The forage stick, I think I'm more happy that I can go out with anyone and have a grazing stick, and we can also throw my tonnage. You can throw a square out and clip and show what we have and look at the diversity. Also, with not being able to use a forage stick, I think is really. I think that's really is satisfying to me.
Yes, sir.
Because most forage sticks that's given out at seminars and workshops, it's just a waste. You can use them to move your cattle. To be honest with you.
Right.
And I am satisfied with my forage right at this time. I need to improve a little bit more diversity. We're satisfied with the genetics on the cattle. My next goal is really have more impact with hoof action on my paddocks, which will have to be very small, maybe 3/4 of an acre, and I'll have to start. Right at this time, I think the biggest is having my children understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and also my grandchildren. They assume everybody's doing what I'm doing, and
they know what they've seen.
What they've seen here, but they hadn't seen the other side. But I made every mistake there was to make. I started conventional. I was conventional. I was plowing, turning, spraying, and that was 15 years ago. Bare ground, wormy cows. I said, and my oldest son said, this is not working. So we eventually started doing a little research and reading, and he just asked me, he said, Dad, would you just use rotational grazing? And in 6 months I saw the difference, and my light bulb went on. And I think once that happened, I kind of went overboard because I have a passion for it.
Right.
I have a passion for it. I'm not in competition with any of my neighbors or any of my other producers. I think what I've seen is using 4 sticks. We were ate up with. I was with thistle, dog fennel, and horse nettle. You've seen my pastures.
Oh yeah.
People watching this will see them. There's no weeds.
Right.
And I have never sprayed. Yeah. I have never sprayed. Now it doesn't happen overnight. It took me 5 years. But once you can keep that grass covered and keep, weed as opportunities. Or if you give a weed bare ground change, the weed's going to do it.
Oh yes, sir.
So all these practices I do, is it perfect? No. Is it the right thing to do? I feel so. I think regenerative practices is the way to go for smaller operations. It's labor intensive, but you got to. If you're a small operation, you have to watch your inputs.
Right.
You have to cut your inputs.
That margin is tight.
Margins and tight. Cow prices is at record prices right now, but so is diesel fuel, and so is parts,
right.
And so is anything you spend,
all your inputs.
And all your inputs, So I'm pleased that we have the diversity. I don't have the weeds. I have cattle that I don't have to load up with wormer. I haven't wormed my cows in years. Don't have to look shots. I'm satisfied where we're at. It's just sharing this.
Right.
I do not believe in the conventional plowing and spraying and feeding up and propping up a cow with feed or propping them up with vaccines or needles. I don't understand sustainable. I don't want to be sustainable. I think sustainable is just you maintain the status quo. Well, I don't want to do status quo.
Right.
I don't understand people. Well, I want to be. I want to improve.
Right. You want to push that envelope. I
rather work with nature and work with it, and I promise you, it works.
Yeah. Well, Don, I know we've talked a lot about your grazing and how you move your cows around, but something I was wondering myself. Have you seen much of an impact in your grazing practices when it comes to drought? We get a lot of droughts, especially late season here in South Carolina. Compared to more conventional operations, do you find that your pastures are holding up a little better?
They hold up big. They hold up longer because what happens if you maintain? We have really had the droughts. Our climate has changed. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon about, climate change, whatever you want to call it. But I do know I track my weather, my rainfall every day.
Right.
Every day. I keep a record, and I can tell you what I've got every year. But I can tell that we're not having the moisture we used to have, and we are getting hotter, and we are getting drier. But the only thing I've seen is that I am retaining the moisture I do get in my soil, and it doesn't run off.
Right.
It does not. It only extends it. Now we went through a drought this year. We've been in a drought. We're actually what you're seeing today, in this area, we are listed in a drought.
So, Don, how does your operation impact the local economy, and what do you feel that your role plays in the community?
As far as the local economy, I hope I don't have too big an impact on it because I don't buy any feed, and I don't buy feed. I don't have to purchase a lot of hay like I used to. I do support my local economy with some gentleman that's 102 years old and his children and boys still help him that's in the hay business. And they do a great job on the quality of the hay.
Yes.
I have found out that I support them with that operation. naturally, you know, that my operation is not so that, you know, I'm not providing schools or with my meat product. As far as the local economy, I guess I would say I'm more local because I'm trying to, you know, cut my expenses out.
Right.
But nationally, if you're in any kind of farming operation, whether it's row crop, leafy vegetables or cattle, you support your local economy just for the simple reason of your feed, your fence supplies, your parts for your tractors or your trucks. I noticed that, you know, I try to keep up with my receipts a little better than I did last year, but I have spent just on tires alone this year, probably up to, with tractor tires.
And those aren't getting any cheaper.
No, I think I looked at it and I've spent almost, and there it is, the first quarter, I think I'm already close to $480 just on tires.
Yeah.
Which would be, and I've had to replace 2 rear tires on my tractor. And that was a shock. But
those are painful.
Yeah, they hit me pretty hard. So you can help the local economy out. But in agriculture, being a small operator, you do help out to some extent.
Right.
Now, it keeps some of these local places, the mom and pop stores, the feed stores, the fence supply. I buy local on my fence.
Yes, sir.
I'm high tensile, strictly high tensile. So, you know, we do, it does have the economy. It does have the local mom and pops. But we're seeing now, and you understand this, we're seeing more and more people, more and more farms going by the wayside.
Yes, sir.
In this state alone, I would hate to know how many dairies or how many livestock operations ceased to exist when
just in the last 5 or 10 years.
This county used to have 4 or 5 dairies. We probably have 1.
Yeah.
So they're impacting the economy by people coming in, moving from other states in here, and it's really has hurt the smaller any operation in South Carolina farming.
Yeah.
Because of what these people are paying for acreage. It has cost, they are coming in and paying. I could not be in what I'm doing if I had accumulated this property years ago. I didn't inherit this. I didn't inherit. Well, I piecemealed it. And God was good to me and blessed me that when a piece of tract came, I didn't want all the land. I just wanted what was next to me.
Yeah, just a little joint.
Yeah, what joined me.
Yes, sir.
So now the impact of the economy with farms is that it concerns me that our farmland is being sold.
Yeah.
And I understand it, because if a child or a grandchild, if they put the check out there for $20,000 or $30,000 an acre, which it is selling for,
right,
you can't blame them.
No.
You cannot blame them. But what does that do for a young couple that would like to get into the ag business?
Sir.
If they do not inherit it, like my children have an opportunity to,
right,
it's going to be impossible for anybody to go in because of the cost of the acreage of land, and the cost of fencing, the cost of water lines, the cost of your stock,
right,
cost of your equipment.
right.
I mean,
Oh, it's astronomical.
yeah, a pickup truck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,